Are you ready to join me in transforming fear to freedom? That's the objective of the show. Are you ready to explore with me and my guests? Are you ready to get into the deep and play? This is where it's at, and that's what it's all about. No medical advice here. Use discernment and decide for yourself if the information is right for you. All views and opinions expressed on this show belong to the individual and are not necessarily shared with the producer of the show. Want more details? Go to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com. Now let's get real and have some fun. Who are we going to explore with today? Come on with me and let's get into the deep. Welcome back to another episode on Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine, and in fact a new season. We are in 2014 September, and Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine has actually been in production for a couple of years now, and this is our new season where we are going to really launch into a specific journey exploring higher conscious visions. That is my passion, to be able to bring to you things that I really believe are areas that haven't been delved into maybe enough, and to get past the woo-woo aspect of some of them and into the practical. How do we apply this stuff into our lives? You know, how do we work with this law of attraction? How do we work with the energy that's available to us as we've raised our vibration on this planet? And today we are talking with Shelly Dressel of goddesslight.net, and we're going to talk about just those kinds of things. We're going to talk about karma. We're going to talk about the interdimensional aspects, the dimensions of the planet, 3D, 5D, 6D, and how that all works, and how we can work with this energy. Also wanted to get really specific with Shelly because she's got some really exciting things available for the public to engage with her in classes and learn how to do some of this stuff yourself. She has a new one coming up for opening to channel. She has another one on, it's called Living in the New Energy, which is exactly what we need for this time, right? And so she's offering that this fall. So I wanted to talk to her about that. And sure enough, we had some channeling going on and some energy movement. Sometimes you notice that right on the screen, the visual gets a little blurry, and that's just how it is. And so I love to keep it, you know, I really can't change it anyway, but I love that it happens because then we know the energies are all around and helping Shelly to share the message that she channels, which is just fabulous. So really appreciate that. And also wanting to let you know before we get into this show that Shelly is going to be doing a series of shows on the new network, Exquisite World Global Network, coming to you very soon. So watch for that, and just look for the posts on lgrcc.com. In the sidebar on the bottom has posts, and you can sign up for the RSS feed so that you will know when those shows are coming online, which will be very soon, I hope. And so please subscribe to the YouTube video, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google, of course, and also visit the website. It's got so much information, and all the old shows are archived there for you to listen to for free, as well as the new shows are being listed as they are developed. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's get into this chat with Shelly Dressel of Goddess Light right now. It is September 2014. We are launching a new season on Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine, and once again, we are joined by Shelly Dressel from Goddess Light. Welcome to the show again, Shelly, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Catherine, for having me. As always, it's such a pleasure for me to be able to be on the show with you. I find that our conversations are just talking about all those things we all are so interested in, and then they just flow with ease. So I really appreciate having the opportunity to have these conversations with you.
And I do too, and so do the listeners and viewers, because you're real, which is what we're all about on this show, is real people doing real things. And when I first started doing these shows, and in the a couple of years ago, we were talking about, like before the year 2000, we were talking about how the earth was shifting, the energy was shifting, things were going to be different, and we're going to have a different way of being on the planet. Well, now in 2014, I can see in myself how much I've changed, how much applying these understandings really does change my life, has changed my life. That we're moving out of that simple curiosity about, oh yeah, we're more than a body, we have energy bodies, or we're more than just on this planet Earth, the universe is bigger, all those things that were kind of vague concepts. Now we're starting to actually see the practicality. Law of attraction, it works. It's not because someone discovered it. It's like the law of gravity. It works. We don't have to think about it. It works. What we think about, we bring about. Some of the things you're offering, you have, and it's important for people to know this, you have done the work. You have experienced these things. It's not like you're just telling us about something you read in a book. You've had to do the work yourself in order to bring it to us. So that's where I'd kind of like to start. What kinds of things are you now teaching to other people?
As I'm listening to everything that you're saying, and first of all, thank you for that wonderful confirmation of me and the things that I have done. I really appreciate that. A couple of things that were going through my mind at the time that I wanted to mention is that I have been doing this for 20 years now, and I actually began my spiritual journey just finding those things that were of interest to me, saying, for example, well, gee whiz, I need to make a change in my life. What can I do? So I started yoga. And then yoga led to someone saying, your third eye is opening. And I thought, I have a third eye? What is that? And, so it's as if all of these things that happened in my everyday life were the things that drew me to every new step that I needed to go through. And the thing that everybody needs to remember on these journeys is there's no right or wrong. You simply take a pathway that goes this way, and then maybe a pathway that goes that way, and then down the middle. There's no right or wrong. The end result is always going to be the result of what it is you've done. But so often I work with people about letting go of the past or letting go of the things that they don't want to have around them anymore. And that's very, very helpful to you. I don't deny that. But when people begin to think or realize that I didn't really make a wrong turn, I didn't do something bad, I didn't do something wrong, then you don't have those things to release. You just begin to realize that, my life is just my life. It's been what it's been. Some things I like about it, some things not so much, but it is what it is. And that is, to me, part of the indication of living in the new energy or living in the fifth and sixth dimensional energies. It's that greater acceptance of who you are. It's opening up to the self-love and awareness and acceptance and those types of things that allow you to just be more comfortable in your skin, so to speak.
Yes.
And I think that's a large part of what my message is right now.
But it feels like we're now moved into a time where these teachings, these understandings, if we can get them and empower ourselves, and that's what I feel like you're doing. It's not just go to Shelly and get her to fix it, or go to Shelly and have the goddess or one of the other entities just zap you and poof, tell you your future. If you go down this path, you're going to meet with this obstacle. That isn't what it's about anymore. It's really about self-empowerment, isn't it?
Yes and no. It is absolutely about self-empowerment, and the ways in which an individual can become empowered are limitless. Just as there are so many people, there are so many different ways that person can open up to that. But one of the things that you can receive by going to see someone such as myself or others that have the, that can look at you like that, we can look at those potentials. We can help you to release things. Because even for myself, I just had a conversation last week about how there may be things in my life that it's like, gosh darn, I'm just trying to get rid of that, trying to get rid of it. And then someone can see it from that objective standpoint. And that's where somebody outside of you can help you with it. Ultimately, you, the individual, are doing your own work. But where a channel or someone else can assist with that is that we can see that bigger perspective. We can create the space to help you release. We can definitely work with your energy. So yes, we are somewhat doing it, but ultimately you have to integrate it.
Yes, and I think that's what I find that there's times where I've done, I do my meditation practice, I clear my energy field, I put, protection around myself when I'm integrating with the world, when I'm traveling, I do all those things. But there are times when, like you say, you can't see. It's kind of like, I liken it to a mirror. if I'm feeling my face and I've got a bump or something and I can't, I know there's something there, maybe it's irritating me and I can't tell, but if I don't have a mirror, I can't really see it. It's kind of like that, whereas, my experience when I worked with you, Shelly, and the goddess and the angels and so forth, was that you can see a layer of me that I can't see. I can feel it usually. I can feel something's out of alignment in my life, and I want more. And I think it's such an opportunity here. It's an opportunity now. It's not like we used to call it woo-woo, and it can't be woo-woo anymore because everybody's into it. Not everybody, but a lot of people are realizing it would be like the old days when people talked about our biology and other people didn't understand. What do you mean there's, white
There's
blood?
a DNA? What's that?
Yeah, that's just bizarre. And so now we are at this point where we're understanding we're not just our physical body. We get it. Okay, we have an energy body. And so working with you in that one-on-one personal way, you can help people to see where, it could be a past life situation. It could be something in their current life that they're holding, or a block or whatever. So that's really helpful. But like you say, the collective is raising the consciousness. The planet herself has raised her consciousness, her vibration. Now, to me, that means we have more choice than we ever had.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And a couple of other things about as you were talking, the angels were coming in closer, and they would definitely like to give a message. So let us begin. Beloved, thank you so much for inviting us in, and we'd like to be able to speak directly instead of Shelly interpreting. It's fine when she interprets. We certainly don't mind that at all. But when we speak directly to you, we like to be able to say, it is we the angels, and we've come here to share messages with you at this time. In particular, the reason that we want to step forward and talk at this time is because it is extremely important for people to understand that they are living this life, and that before they were born into this life, before they were a speck in the consciousness of their parents' minds, they were on the other side of the veil, if you want to call it that, although even the veil is gone now too. Right. They were in that pre-birth space, shall we call it, and beginning to say, what kind of a life do I want to have? And of course, you have all those that said, I'm going to lay back and enjoy the sunshine and just eat bonbons. And there are people that live their life exactly like that. It may not be that exact physical realm, but that's the lifetime they have chosen. The vast majority of people who choose to come and live upon the earth are very strong, powerful, dynamic soul essence. And because they are like that, they want to have challenges in their life. They want to really experience being on earth, and they want to feel as if they're living their life to the fullest. And so what living their life to the fullest means to the individuals before they come in to be birthed is that I want to have this happen in my life, and this happen in my life, and this happen in my life. And it's as if you put a stair step, or you could say the yellow brick road, and you would walk down the yellow brick road finding these various things going on in your life that are going to have an effect upon you. When people speak of karma, people have a perception that karma is, I did bad, so I therefore do good. I do good, I therefore am balancing bad. As if everything is like a teeter-totter that you are trying to balance throughout your life. That is one perception of karma, but that is no longer in effect. When you're in the fifth dimension, it neutralizes all of that energy. And plus, once we moved into the year 2000, it was as if the slate was wiped clean, so to speak, so that everything that people are doing is coming from a fresh start because you're in a new vibration, because you're in a new dimension. The, what did they call it? The Mayan calendar that right. Everyone said was so pivotal in kind of creating a structure for life. They said, oh, it ended, that's why it's the end of time. No, it shifted into the fifth dimension and the sixth, seventh, and ninth. And so now things are being uncovered that help people to say, oh, look what I just found. You heard about it last year. And so all of these things are about living your life from a perspective of feeling as if there's an intention behind you. So when we speak of, did people come into this lifetime to suffer? People came into this lifetime with an intention of experiencing these various things in their life. So when they talk about you are creating your life, you're creating your life because you had said, I want to have XYZ experiences.
Right.
So with humanity, you now have free will. You now have the ability to say, oh, there's an experience right here. I see myself coming into it. Do I really want to go down that road or do I not?
Right.
Some things happen to you. You're driving along on the road and bam, you get sideswiped, or, a car accident happens and you think, oh my gosh, what was that about? So you will say, I had no control over that. And in that moment, no, you did not have any control over that. It just happened to you. But you now are in that space to say, this is what's happened to me. How am I going to react to it? Am I going to recognize that, okay, I needed a new car anyway because my car was having lots of repairs and I needed something else, so this is what happened.
Right.
Am I going to say perhaps, well, my car will be fixed. I'm healthy. The other person's fine too, so we're going to go on our business. And so it's all about, or are you going to be the victim? I can't believe that individual had the nerve to run into me. Who did they think they were doing? And maybe insert some swear words and things in there. So you can feel the anger, you can feel the compliance, you can feel the optimism, you can feel all the different things that may have come in around that situation. So yes, everybody who's a human did put forth some intentions of what you wanted this life to be like. So yes, you as the human have the free will to discern and decide how are you going to live your life in response to what is happening around you.
Yeah.
And yes, there are times when you get caught up in something and it's pulling you down and you just feel as if you're treading and trying to keep your head above water. And that's okay. But you're going to get through that. And then you're going to make a new choice and then a new choice and then a new choice. And this is what we speak about. And the difference in the fifth dimension is that none of these things are in as solid and tightly woven of an energy. They're all in a much more fluid energy. When you think back to, say, the 1970s or 80s, or, okay, here's a good perception. Not everyone that's listening may know this, but say in the 50s, there was a particular mindset for what society should be like. And then you came into the 60s, which was, what did they call it? The hippies and the free love. And you can feel the dramatic shift in energy from conformity to non-conformity.
Right.
And then with every decade since that time, different things have been changing. And the energy has gotten a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter. And that's how we say that it's been opening up to this dimension in which there's now more crystalline energy, which makes things more transparent, and the fifth and sixth dimension, which is a lighter, finer vibration. So we've just jabbered away here.
Yeah, and I just want to ask something for some clarification on can happen. So if I'm angry and I'm feeling like I'm a victim, like this person did this to me, ruined my day, ruined my car, now I have all these expenses, and maybe I'm going to be sick for a long time, maybe I'm going to be hurt. How does our choice of reaction to that event, how does that change, or does it, future events? Like, is it isolated? Is it one incident? If I choose in that moment, I'm angry about all that, and then tomorrow I'm fine? Or how does it have a ripple effect? I guess that's my question.
Yes, it does have a ripple effect. When we speak of energy, there's the energy that you're conscious of. There's the energy that you're unconscious of. And almost as powerful as what you're conscious of is that which you are unconscious of. So that's that place inside of you that maybe you don't have a reason for why you're feeling a particular way. Or maybe you don't have a reason for why you think some certain thoughts. And these things are all being influenced by your unconsciousness, if you want to call it that. And so you may say, I'm tired of being angry about this, but you're angry anyway. It's all linked in. So when you have these situations that happen in your life and you get very angry about them, and you could talk to 50,000 people, they all say, you have the right to be angry about that. So whether it's one person or 50,000 people, you have the right to be angry or to feel whatever you feel in any given moment.
Yeah.
So that's not a part of this equation. This equation is about an energy vibration that emanates from each individual, and that energy vibration is made up of their conscious and their unconscious energy. So if you have, if your consciousness is already filled up with a lot of energy that has to do with frustration, anger, bitterness, lack, the victim, any of those negative things, that's already pulling you down, because none of those things feel good. I don't know of any person anywhere in the world where they would say it feels good to have a lack of money, or it feels good to be in pain my entire day. None of that ever feels good. So when we're talking about shifting and trying to raise the vibration and trying to feel better in your life, you're trying to find things that help you to feel good, help you to feel light, help you to feel joyful, help you to feel happy. And Shelly just heard that song going through her mind about happy.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's a really good song. But when you say about the choice, it just occurs to me that a person who, let's say they're already down, does it feel bad or feel, we don't, like you say, it doesn't feel good. Does it feel that way because it's not in alignment with our true nature? That's kind of how I've perceived it? Is it when it...
That is absolutely the case.
Okay. So we're not meant to feel, that's not our, it's, I guess what I'm saying is that would be a good signpost to say when it feels really, really bad, then we're out of alignment.
Right. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. That's almost like, you can think about that in many, many different ways. Each of you as a human walking upon the earth have your human physical self that makes up who you are. This is what people may talk about being the physical, the mental, the emotional, and then that spiritual aspect. Those energy bodies are what make up the human. In addition to that, as your soul essence, that is your God source energy that is only you. That's what makes you the unique person that you are. That's what makes each one of us, no matter how many billion or trillion people may be upon the earth, as a speck of a soul that is separate from everybody else. So it's that place inside of you that wants to feel the joy, the happiness, the love, the ease, the abundance. So when I speak of someone being out of alignment with themselves, that means that you are out of alignment with that pure love, God source energy.
But if we could follow, because sometimes, like even anger, I would say when you express anger, when you like you say, you have a right to be angry, something happened, sometimes it feels good to express it. It doesn't feel good to hold it in. And
exactly.
I feel like not to do violence to anyone else, but to express it, to even go by yourself, to vent it. To me, I think that is easier on the body, better, healthier, to get it out, and then you feel better, or have a good cry. It feels better.
Well, and again, one of the things that we would really like to emphasize here is that you are human. You are going to be angry. You are going to be mad. You are going to feel bad. You are going to be depressed. You are going to have all the emotions that are potential for you to feel. You are going to feel them. So the question is, do you stay in that space for hours, days, weeks, years, months, whatever, or do you acknowledge it, get rid of it for whatever reason, knowing that it happened for a reason, there was something that it triggered within you, so you felt that way, and then you move on? It's the times when people are in that energy or in that vibration and they stay there day after day, month after month, and that you may be angry or frustrated about something and it begins to affect everything else, so that somebody else comes to talk to you about, oh my gosh, there's a fair going on this weekend. Well, that'll just be full of people and people jostle me. And you can hear how, even though you might love to go to the fair and have a great time, you still are being influenced by that frustration and that anger that's hanging over from something else.
Yeah, and it occurs to me as you're saying that, how often we, because of beliefs, our society, our culture, our families, we can be taught which emotions and feelings are okay to express and which ones aren't. And it feels to me that we're coming to that point. Well, we've spent a lot of time trying to teach men it's okay to cry. Mostly they still don't get it. A lot of women, same thing. I mean, for me, I turned that off when I was 9 years old. When my dad died, that's when I was like, crying was a sign of weakness. It was a sign of, and it kept getting reinforced over the years because I believed it. And so I didn't cry. And, I learned not to vent my anger because I was afraid of it. I was afraid of the consequences. If I was angry, somebody else would be angrier, and then there'd be violence. And so what occurs to me is how delicious it is, if you really think about it, in the human experience that's not in the spiritual experience, is having all of these. So if we could just kind of rejoice and like, oh, I'm feeling angry, and just be angry, and then it would just pass, because that's all we're meant to do, is to feel it. And it just occurs to me in this moment, I'm thinking, why did I, how much more fun it would have been to actually feel joyful when you feel joyful and go, wow, this is fantastic. And when you're really feeling sad, feel it. Then maybe we would have hang on.
And a lot of what you're speaking about is also about living in the now moment. Uh-huh. You're not living in the past. You're not living in the future. You're living in the right now moment. And right now I feel angry. Right now I feel ecstatic. Right now I feel tranquil. That's when you live in the moment. You're not allowing isn't the right word, but you're not being distracted by things from your past or potentials that may or may not ever occur. So that's not to say, well, okay, but I want to be in my house, so I'm going to pay my mortgage, so I'm going to do this, that, absolutely, that's not what I'm talking about. What we're talking about here is that your focus is about what's happening to me now, and you're not being pulled backwards or putting the fantasy of when this happens, then I'll be happy. Instead, you're letting your focus be on what's happening now.
Yeah, this feels good right where I am. Not letting yourself but yesterday, that guy drove down the road and really ticked me off, and yet people tell the story and they tell it again. The next person they see, boy, you should have seen what happened to me yesterday. That's living in the past. Whereas living in the now is right now I'm having an opportunity to have this chat with you. So, and this is awesome, right?
Yes. So, Maya Angelou had written a beautiful book that I read probably 15 or 18 years ago that was called In Between. And this is exactly what she spoke of, even though it wasn't that popular at that time. In between the times of, while you're waiting to get the house you want to have, or when you're done being over what's happened in the past, in between, that's where your focus needs to be.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is about, is living in this now moment.
Yeah. Soon.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine. You know how much I love you. It's always wonderful to be on this show with you, and to everybody out there who's watching or listening to this, I look forward to meeting you.
Absolutely. I really want to appreciate all of you for watching and sharing this, and let your friends know, because this is how we're really going to grow the network, is by word of mouth more than anything. So thank you so much, and until next time, take care. Wasn't that amazing? Thank you to my guests for sharing with us today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share the link. You can join us for live shows by going to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com and listen to the replays from the show page, preview guests, and explore links to our Facebook fan page, WordPress blog, and more. We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care.